A billion things could have failed at any moment, and I can't believe it makes it to a bottle.
Bikes were wet this morning. Where are we at?
We're at Pismo Beach. It definitely rained last night. The bikes had to be wiped off because they were drenched.
A little bit.
I'm thinking on our next run up here, because we should do another one, we should spend more time here because we've not spent a lot of time on the wharf or in the town. But we've got a run this morning to go see Keith in Los Olivos, do a vineyard tour, do a bunch of stuff today that's going to be real fun. So I think we need to come back here.
Yeah, we're going to see the town on the way to breakfast, so you'll see a little bit of it, you know, and maybe we'll give you a little aerial view. So hey, let's go get some breakfast.
Ladies, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning,
How
Josh.
are you feeling?
Good. We had a good night's rest, good dinner in our tummy last night, and now we're off to...
That's right, and it's a nice crisp morning. It's all good.
We are good and ready.
That's great because the couple in the hotel room next to me was bumping Nelly Furtada
No way.
until like 1 a.m.
No way.
Amongst other things. So I was trying to get a little sleep, and that just didn't happen. But I figured, you know what? That's been me before, so I'm gonna let them have some fun. And I played some real loud country in the morning. So, you know, there you have it.
So funny.
Where we at, dude?
We're at award-winning Penny's for breakfast, so we'll see how award-winning it is.
Hey, Teresa, so you got a little ham?
I got just a teeny bit. It's for the table.
Well, I got the Chi-Chi Marie. Penny's award-winning breakfast, man.
Yeah, dude.
You know what? 3 poached eggs and a burger. I love that. I'm gonna eat it and I'm gonna be very happy.
Make like a prom dress and get the hell out of here. Slip out of
Get
here.
out of it.
Make
Boy,
like
did he botch that one out.
So look, what a great breakfast this morning. You got to come check out Pismo Beach. Little fun fact, a couple of years ago, 11,000 is when they first found indigenous people here.
Wow.
Then the Chumash kind of took over. And this used to be one of the most famous clamming beaches on the Central Coast. And by the 1950s, it became a mecca, and then it was all harvested out, so it's rare that you find clams anymore. And I clammed with my father in Alaska, and it's something so cool. You'll see these necks come up. They have this tool that you shoot down over them, and pull out the sand and grab them. But if you miss them, you watch these things just scurry through the sand. It's amazing how they move.
I know you didn't eat them.
I like
did?
clams.
He
Yeah.
does clams.
Oh, I'm not a fan of clams.
Yeah, clam chowder. Only way to rock.
Hey, so if you're ever out, you come to a place, you find out it's pretty cool, you can always come back and do more because that's what we have to do.
What are we doing next?
We are going to Sarloos Winery for a tour.
That's right. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What's up, boys?
We're parking in the mud. I think the bike's going to be okay. Vertical. We're at the vineyard here. Keith's already started the tour. A little late, but better late than never.
You know, my boots are getting thick of mud on the bottom, so this is going to be interesting. But hey,
Yeah, brand new shoes. Nice.
hey, we just rolled up to the Sarloos Winery to see our good friend Keith. He's been to Sturgis with my son Lance.
Oh, yeah.
We rode in Sturgis with him. He's a Harley rider, a motorcycle rider.
Motorcyclist.
Motorcyclist. And we're here and he's going to give us a tour and we can't wait.
But what's been... Oh, did you hear the...
The donkeys, yeah.
So what's been going on up here this, last 5-6 weeks every Saturday?
Yeah, so we've been giving away free tours, and it's, no, the donkeys are pretty jealous. we've been giving away free tours to anybody who wants to come. All you have to do is send me a DM on Instagram, and I'll send you the location like you guys did. And what's been really great is we've been inviting people inside the fence, right? A lot of people have gone out and they think about wine as being very snobby or elitist or separatist or whatever. But I like inviting people in to see what we do. You know, I'm dirty boots and driving a tractor.
You dirtied our boots?
I know. And what we want to do is be able to walk around and show people that wine is not for rich snobs. It's made by dirtbags like me that like to ride motorcycles and have a good time. And I'm personally trying to bring in the dirtbag community into wine.
Right.
But the nice part is it's handcrafted, and it comes from, you know, I can look at my hands and say we made that. And that's what we do here.
Well, I've always admired, when we first met you, the prepare and courage and the family values that you guys pour into your wines. The labels, everything is so unique. And I heard you talk at one of the tastings about, you know, you don't know from year to year.
No.
And you're okay with that, because you're serving what Mother Nature has produced for you.
Absolutely.
And so it's really cool to see that. And then to see you post on Instagram and the way you write and tell stories, and now to see you doing that with people in your on your vineyard to show them what's going on here. I mean, that's pretty ingenious, my friend.
Hey, listen, I'd be lying if I didn't see what you guys are doing and the passion that you put into it, seeing what Little Lance is doing. That inspires me, in all honesty, because, you know, we spend so much time consuming content, right? And to get somebody to come out and go do a thing and have a great time and share it with their friends when they get home, that we should be doing more and more and more of that, not just sitting on a couch and sucking it in. So what's the best way to get somebody to come out? Tell them it's free. Spend 2 hours with them, which is going to take a little while. We're going to get our boots dirty and have a great time and see where your wine comes from.
So if you want to learn anything about the Saarloos Winery, learn about wine, and do it with a really cool farmer, DM him, message him. He will take you on a tour, because we're going to do that tour right now.
Well, let's get going then.
Right on.
I'll see you in the vineyard.
Yeah.
See that mountain range? That is one of 7 transverse mountain ranges in the world. 2 of them are in the United States. That's one of them. If you take that mountain range, and as it falls into the ocean, that creates that point-to-point conception. If we keep running that direction, it goes into the San Bernardino Mountains and everything that really separates the high desert of California from the beachside. If we would redraw California today, that would be the beginning of Southern California. Because if we go to that side of the hill and we go all the way down to Cabo, it's the same weather. Same warm ocean, same red tile roofs, bougainvillea, cactus. Like every beach community from Santa Barbara to Cabo is basically the same thing. And that's the geographic boundary. There is no water on that side of the hill. Mulholland brought it all up and over the hill. There is no water on that side. Artesian Well is one town that does have water, but there is not the abundance that you see here. The next closest town from where we're at, that direction, is Bakersfield. Because what you don't see is this little ribbon that is very jagged that goes all the way between there and the next plain, which is Bakersfield. Nobody lives between here and there. It's just this. Then when you hit here, that mountain range, that basically as you drive the 154 up and over from Santa Barbara, is the beginning of the north and south mountain range that becomes Yosemite and the Sierras. And they basically are, bam, right here. We put a man on the moon in 1969, but we didn't know until 1970 how mountains were formed. That blows my mind every time, because we didn't understand plate tectonics until 1970. So when people would say, how are the mountains formed? People would say, I don't know, magic, I guess, or they've always been that way, or whatever. But now, knowing how plate tectonics works, the fact that we have that mountain range, another mountain range there, what we have is this little corner, which is basically where you guys were in Pismo today, right? Comes down. You were riding by a mountain range the whole time. And you're riding by that mountain range, which is basically rubbing the coastline. Then it hits this point over here with that transverse mountain range. And that whole basin that is on the ocean side of this mountain range and on the other side of this mountain range shouldn't exist.
What's great is, like right now, you see all this brand new life. So this is called bud break. So my entire life is right there, 3 years from now. Every meal, every house payment, everything right there. My son will be a senior in high school, right? When this wine comes out and goes to your house. So where we're at is this bud, if you look, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, all the way down. So when we went through here, when the vines were dormant and pruned, all of this, we made the biggest farming decision of the year. How much fruit are we going to have? Are we having 12 kids or are we going to have 4? What can we provide for, right? What kind of quality do we want? Industry average is like 8 to 12 tons. We farm at 3. So it's all quality, not quantity. And right now we are in the bud building business. So you see these sprinklers right here. On top of that hill, there are 2 cisterns. There's 1 well right behind you. We pump all of that water up that hill, and it sits in this huge underground bulb. And then there, at the other end of our property, there is another well, and we pump that all up to the top of that hill, and it sits in this huge underground bulb. And when we have frost, when the air here gets down to say 33 degrees, 34 degrees, I got alarms, I literally have everything, because if we have a freeze go through here, a frost, and it touches all of this biomass and burns it or kills it, we're done. That's it. So we come out here, flip all the pumps on, flip everything on, and we turn sprinklers on over this whole thing, and the water is warmer than the air, so the water comes and it touches this and it slowly coats it, and as that cold air freezes it, it creates an igloo-like effect around every single one of these buds, and we keep running it until the sun comes right up over the top of that hill, which is a little later in the day than I wish usually, and it'll warm it all up, turn everything off, let it all melt off, and we've saved the buds. They're not going to die. We've lived to fight another day. So right now we're in that mental process. And what I think is just so beautiful is, like, right now, if you just kind of unfocus your eye a little bit and you kind of just look across it, you can see all that life. Isn't it great? And this is honestly, if you were here last week, when we had the tour, like 50 people, there was like, on the walk, there were maybe 25, 30 plants where I'm like, oh, there's one. And we looked at them and stuff. And this is what happened in a week. It totally just explodes with life, because what's happening is the soil is getting warmer. All the sap that's in the root system is coming up. It's hitting that root ball. Now osmosis is starting to happen. And if you look at the ends of these, they're starting to get a little wet. They're pushing all that sap up. As soon as that sap hits that bud that we left there before we pruned it, it goes boom and life goes out. So all of our Grenache here is genetically one vine. If I go to the other vineyard where we have Grenache, it's genetically the exact same vine. But that's also why we release a Mayhem and a Mischief. One has a picture of Cash on it, the other one has a picture of Brady on it. Brady and Cash share 50% of the same DNA, but they're being raised in the same house, same value system, same morals, same blah, blah, blah. But Brady is a California kid being raised in Texas, loves to golf, sporty, mixed sport, all that kind of stuff. And Cash is a Texas kid being raised in California, where I'm like, time to preg check cows. Cash is hopping over the fence and gloving up and like right in and yep, you know, and doing like really crazy stuff, right? So their personalities, if they would, you know, if we would exchange locations, would they be different? Sure. But one of the things that I find, like when we were talking about wineries that don't own vineyards or don't own, that are bringing things in, right? Like a restaurant that has Cisco drop off all the food. What I love about what we're doing is, and I always push it back to family and kids, is we're getting to know the personality of this little spot. And that's why we don't sell in stores, we don't sell in restaurants, and we only make wines one time. Because next year will be different than this year. And just like my son, if I would always judge him on being 9 years old, I'm doing a disservice, because we're always constantly learning. We're constantly trying to understand this property. We're trying to constantly make it better. And the fruit that we get and the wines that we make are a one-to-one. So we're not blending our things, trying to make whatever we sold out of last year. like a Coors beer is like this year's version of last year's beer, right? What we're trying to do is express our property the best we possibly can. I mean, just look how gorgeous it is, right? And by expressing it the best way we possibly can, we let all of those idiosyncrasies influence the actual final product. And so that final product is no longer a printing press, it's a painting. It's one off. It's one time, 1 year. And when we make a wine, we usually collapse the entire area into one bottle. So like Big Lair, that huge terrace coming down, the iconic, most photographed vineyard in Santa Barbara County, like bar none. That whole hillside is in one bottle. And so we have to play all of these really crazy lies, because if you look at that hillside with that, like that backbone coming down, just to get the grapes at the bottom ripe with the grapes at the top, to have that watershed come off in both directions. You'll see how crazy the soil just totally transforms as we walk. It's like a totally different place. And just like when we were talking about Santa Barbara County and the 18 different soil compositions, now we're in this little Ballard Canyon piece of it, which this little vineyard itself has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different personalities. And our job is to do the best thing for that personality or that hillside and make a wine that is indicative or a representation of that.
Well, these shoes are keeping the mud off. Look at that.
Yeah, baby.
But you had some new Vans.
Yeah, these are brand new. This is, I did not think this through one bit. Absolutely one bit.
Decided to take the high road in the leaves because the water drains that way. We're walking on leaves now. So it's kind of like a little carpet. Keep the mud off the foot.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you usually do take the high road.
You're right, I do, yeah. So.
Ladies, how you liking this?
Loving it. Beautiful.
It's so amazing. It's beautiful here. And
So-
Keith is amazing at
Yeah.
giving his story and the whole.
Keith is a hell of a dude. We actually kind of missed at least recording his initial part of this, but he was talking about how rare and unique this piece of property is
Right.
in the whole entire world.
Right.
So maybe not all the science is going to make the video because he's got a whole lot of it,
Yeah.
but it's pretty unique to be able to check this out.
And it's so beautiful. Oh.
That hillside tastes like that hillside. That little hillside tastes like that hillside. This hillside tastes like that hillside, even though genetically identical. So to put it in a better form, same kids, same parents, same family, same food, same rules. If you had 4 kids, would you ever expect them to be the exact same person? The answer is, of course not. They're going to be who they are, and they're going to be who they are in supposition, right, to the other kids in the family. So this hillside does a lot of work for that hillside and that hillside. When the sun comes up, this gets the first sun in the day and the last sun at the night. That has to wait, bless you, that has to wait until well over 9 a.m., you know, later on, almost in the morning, until the sun comes to the top of that crest, and then it finally gets sunlight. But that also gets that cool sunlight when the temperature starts going down from this direction, and it's facing it head on. And oh, by the way, all of this is south facing. So remember we talked about the agave versus this? This whole hillside is situated just to bathe in the sun. Because like if you go to Santa Barbara, if you go down to the point, one of the few places in California where you can stand there and go like this, and you can watch the sun come up over the ocean, and you turn this way and the sun will set over the ocean. Because when you're in Santa Barbara, you are facing due south. Like if you drive from Orange County to LA, you go further north and south than when you go from downtown LA to Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara is just due west the whole time, running that mountain range. So this is all facing exactly the right direction to get all of that sunlight. That wind comes right through it, keeps it cool, keeps it hot, keeps it in this perfect zone. We got all of the soil compositions that we need. We got these hills that are coming up that are holding in all of that limestone with that little bit of adobe so we can plant things. Then it goes down, hits that broken up limestone now, puts its little fingers and tendrils through all of it. And then we get to withhold from it because, like right now, this puddle is there because it's the lowest point. So all of the vines that this little area is dealing with, going down and going over there and riding this bottom, they don't have to do much to grow. Weak as fruit. But then if I look at that row, which is totally different, and I just turn around and I get this hillside, totally different yet again. So we're dealing with tons and tons of totally wild personalities in a very small place. We have the hillside here, we have a high hill over here, so the sun actually sets a lot earlier than anywhere else. And all of that confluence comes in together to make this place taste like this place. And you could go anywhere else in the world, even if you had the exact same vines, the exact same year, whatever, it's never gonna be the same. So what we're doing now, we're gonna walk up to here, the top, and then we'll make it out on the road and we'll scuff our feet off. But I want you guys to feel the stress. So when you walk up this hillside, you're gonna feel the stress of these vines. And what I mean by that is, if you think about it, like right here, you see this seasonal creek that is cut away, you see all the limestone. Where did it come from? Nowhere. I mean, that is just 100% all of these hillsides draining into the lowest point and then running to the lowest point over there. So when we start withholding now, we get to that part of the fruit where we're going for quality. What we're trying to do is we withhold water in the hottest days, because then it goes, oh, and pumps all that life into the fruit, because we want the highest possible quality fruit. And by doing that, the color changes. All grapes start off green. They go through a process called veraison. They turn from green to red. If they're a red grape, if they're green, they say green. But all of this being red, the color starts coming in, because it's getting to that point where it's like, I want you to carry my seeds off, even though you don't grow vines by seeds, but they want animals to eat it. It's a signal, just like a green banana to a yellow banana. That's what happens out here. And it's signaling to birds, to everything else to propagate. And when we go through, we pull all the netting up, protect all of that fruit so the birds can't eat it, because if birds teach their children that this is a place to eat, the next year they just they squawk, you know what I mean? And they'll come in, and a whole group of birds will come in and they could wipe you out.
So I think it's great. You know, you take a nice little ride over here, we get a little rain on us, and now we're in this classroom sharing information, and Keith is so awesome with the knowledge that he's just sending our way.
Well, I got a little emotional up the hill when he first started talking, and it's because I could feel Larry looking down on him, being very proud of him for teaching people about this farm. So we're going to mention that to him after, because I know I felt it. So it's pretty crazy.
Again, you know, all across this country, everywhere you go, people you meet, there's classrooms and education everywhere. Sure. Love it.
Now we're going to get in trouble because we're not in class.
Oh, we gotta get...
So here, the goal is to make everything on that side of that line profitable as well, so that if anything happens to me, like, you know, when my dad died, I was prepared but not ready. And my job now is to take my grandpa's dream that my dad put into reality, and then now take everything I've been doing with side by side with my dad for 25 years and weaponize it like a young man. You know, I see my brother doing that. My brother's a head coach for TCU baseball now. My dad's other love with baseball, right? So I want to make this all profitable from one point to the other. You know, all the hillsides. I mean, like, look at it right now. Like, there's a little thicket there and a little there, but this whole thing is just this big carpet because we've turned our cattle loose on it, and they're just mowing everything down, and it's all in harmony. The fact that deer are sleeping there, and you saw jackrabbits, and if it wasn't so windy, you'd see buzzards and squirrels, and we've created a real biodiverse location that is benefiting everyone, you know, which is really great. And as soon as our cattle operation, right now we're benefiting tons of families all over the place, and then bringing them back and working it out even further now, that in a few generations I got a real plan in motion so that we'll be able to do some pretty exciting stuff. So getting to bring like you guys here and open the gates to where most wineries, they want to keep you out and they want to show you a room full of tanks, and because that's where they think the magic happens. Like you guys, like your first time, maybe it's your first time in a vineyard, but you intrinsically see the magic. You know what I mean? It's not the winery, it's all of this. Like today, man, you guys might have had fun, but I was looking forward to it twice as much, because he would have loved to have done this, you know, and bringing people in and showing them it and being part of it. It's like the wine will taste like, yeah. You know, for me, it's like, let me show you what we have done, is there's a difference between connoisseurship and appreciation. A lot of people want to be wine connoisseurs, and those guys are nerds. It's true. They're using a level of knowledge to make others feel inferior. I hate that. I abhor that. What I'm doing now, right? If there's anything that you love, and like to see how a bike's built, right, from start to finish, and being a part of that journey, you see. Like we have a mutual friend, Dell. Dell's one of my best buddies, and he takes old trucks and makes them into works of art. Like brings in the bumper just like 2 inches. You know, it's just everything is just so the way it was supposed to be. And when you look at it, you go, I don't know why I love this. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, what did you do? And he goes, everything. I did it the way the factory should have made it. And by doing that, and seeing that process and all the effort that goes into it, your level of appreciation goes up and up and up to the point where you're like, that's a work of art, right? I can't believe you took all that pain and all that effort and all that breakage and all of that stuff, and then you kept going, because that's what art is. Art is when you take pain and you turn it into something beautiful. You take Van Gogh, right? Before Van Gogh, everybody was just painting photographs, so that you would walk in their house and see a portrait and go, what is this magic, right? Because nobody had a camera. Van Gogh was crazy and would walk fields and was tormented, and then would just stop and throw his stuff down and paint until he passed out. Because he didn't see the church and the night sky anymore. He took all of that pain and he painted the beautiful thing that he saw, you know? And that became Starry Night. And I think it could fail at any moment. And that's when it goes from being production, right? Like if you see a winery and it's like ka-chung, 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 and it's just pumping it out, that's production. Their goal is no failure. All of this can fail at any moment. And the fact that when we get it to a bottle and it goes in, I'm like, I can't believe we did it. You know, holy cow. Because it could have failed 100 times. One bad night, one this, we pick it on the wrong day, something happens, you know, the wrong yeast addition, a billion things could have failed at any moment, and I can't believe it makes it to a bottle. And the fact that it makes it to your home, and then you pull a cork with people you love and go, try this, you know, it's not agriculture anymore. It's art with a tractor. And I think that was the thing my grandpa loved and saw, and made farming a noble profession, which went into my dad, which went into me, which now I'm sharing with you.
What a great little afternoon. We were in a classroom, we had a good time, we learned a lot of really good stuff with our good friend Keith Sarlus. Thank you.
Well, I think it's really cool. We were here last June with the daughters heading up to Cambria, and he was able to talk to them about the same things today that the wives got to hear. And the beam on your face,
Yeah.
and just sharing and walking, the mud actually made it better.
Yeah. Well, you know,
You could feel the passion. When someone's
Yeah.
passionate about what they're doing,
Yeah.
it comes through.
So thank you.
No, I appreciate you guys coming out and bringing your beautiful wives and just enjoying kind of what we do every day. You know, it's not a bad place to work.
Well,
But wait, are you going to have dinner with us tonight?
I'm going to try. My wife is in Texas, and my son told me yesterday that 8 boys are coming to our house. So if I go to dinner with you, I might not have a house there when I get back.
but I just want to say, when you started down here, I felt the spirit of your father,
Oh, yeah.
because I could see the enjoyment of you teaching people.
Yeah.
And I know he's super proud of you because you're taking it to the next level. And your brother, he's a teacher as well.
Oh, absolutely.
He's teaching these young baseball players how to become men.
You know,
And it's really cool that both of you have taken that from your parents.
Yeah.
If you get to live an extraordinary life, you really have no reason to keep it to yourself. And
I like that.
the longer tables we build, rather than building higher fences and bringing people in here to show what we get to do every day, and have everybody gain a little bit of appreciation. Hi, neighbor. It's kind of where we want to be, you know. I just think if more people did this, and grabbed people and pulled them in and said, look what I'm doing.
Right.
And it sparks something in someone that maybe they're not going to do exactly this, but they can take a little bit of that into their own life, like kind of what you guys have done, right? That's what you do every day. Look where we're going, look what we're doing. You should get out here and go do it too. And you guys have inspired so many people to get on their bike with their wives, take a great trip, go see something, go get stuck in snow, you know, go enjoy your life, because if you're living your life on a couch, you're letting it pass by without participating.
And that's why we're friends. We're like-minded people.
That's exactly right.
And
So, you know what? If you enjoyed this tour that we had,
Buy some wine.
buy some Sarloos.
Oh, yeah.
we still have more to go, but if you can join us Hitching Post tonight.
I know.
But
That's hard,
even
that's
if
hard
it's
to
a
say
glass
no
of
to.
wine.
Hey, you could eat and run.
I know.
With that, we'll see you down the road.
So I'm starting to see a trend here. We've made it how far since we're eating again?
60, maybe 57 miles.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
No, really. It took us 45 minutes to get here. But we were spending, what, 3 hours in the vineyard?
A lot of hours in the vineyard. Yesterday was kind of stop and go, eat and ride. Not too far of a ride, but it's been good. It's been
But
real good.
I mean, I think this is a really good thing to show people. All these little places you can go. We're spending time here. We're not just kind of ripping through.
We are.
You
And
know?
this is another great thing you can do in Southern California, whether you're hopping on an Eagle Ride or riding from somewhere else. And where are we at right now?
We're at the world famous Maddie's Tavern. This, we just came off of Ballard Canyon Road, which was an old stagecoach road. And Maddie's used to be where you would stay.
Yeah.
How about that?
What are you looking at?
I'm hungry. I want to eat. Where are we, man?
Well, Maddie's Tavern does not disappoint. Got some shepherd's pie. J-Man.
I was on the sandwich quest. They didn't have a sandwich, so I got the Maddie's Smash Burger. It's insane. Teresa and I are splitting up little fries.
Look at that thing.
That burger looks pretty dang good, but Laura and I are sharing the shepherd's pie. Because you know what? Dinner tonight at the Hitching Post.
Since we did the vineyard tour, we're going to walk over to Sarloos and Sons wine room, and we're going to have a little glass of wine, toast him. It's a great room. You'll see some great pictures of family. And then, I don't know, we're going to figure it out for the rest of the day.
So it's great. We just had a great lunch at Maddie's Tavern. Felix Maddie in 1886 made this spot right here. And you mentioned earlier it was a stagecoach stop. Well, it was between San Francisco and Los Angeles that the run went.
So I think we'll stop by Cold Springs tomorrow. And this, I mean, if you look, many of the stops that we've done in California on the coast, inland, are these little towns that were created and little businesses created because you couldn't go 10 days riding a stagecoach. You had stops that you had to make, feed the horses, get the guests rested. And this is one of them.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's pretty cool if you think of how long this has been here. And there's an iconic water tower that was kind of a landmark for this place. And it's still on property. We'll let you see that. But hey, what a great lunch. And we'll see you guys down the road. I mean, I'm really digging on this family legacy. It goes deep. This is John Sarloos. It's a D-Day memorial, but check it out. Omaha Beach, Utah beach sand. They have wine dedicated. Family, I love it.
Where are we at?
We are at Sarloos. It's called The House. Great place for
Let me try
wine.
something else though, because this is something that no other winery that I'm aware of pairs their wine with. Follow me. Cupcakes, their own little 8 crates and everything. I don't know any other winery that does this. And if you come here, you got to try it because it pairs so great with each blend.
So the cool thing about Keith, you know how he is. A local vendor was making cupcakes and cakes and stuff, and she wanted to have a little spot in his store. I remember that part of the story, and she had this section here, and then it became a big thing. Cupcakes and wine, the pairing for Sarloos's group.
What's up, boys?
Let's raise a toast to Keith Sarloos and the whole family. Thank you, Keith, for the tour, and you're our family.
Thank you, Keith. Great time.
What are we drinking, ladies?
Grenache. It's supposed to be delicious, and it is.
It is very good. Very light, but very tasty.
What are you ladies doing?
Sampling some cupcakes.
Flight
Is that
of
a sample?
cupcakes. Yes.
Just a
Carrot,
little, just a little
funfetti.
6
6 pack.
Little
Which one do you
six-pack
want?
sample.
Yes,
which
would
one
you
do
like
I
some?
want?
Yeah, which one do
I
you want? Carrot cake
don't
is
want
delicious.
one,
Yes,
but
you do. Come on,
no,
it's
I
a
don't.
bite.
Josh.
Fine, I'll have the sprinkled one.
It's a
Of
fun
course, you
Betty.
guys want some. Oh God, it's so good.
You want to have a cupcake?
I'm not going to have a cupcake right now, but I'm going to get a video of the girls having a cupcake.
What are you doing up here?
Well, welcome back to my show. I had just told you about the cupcakes, and it looks like my guy.
How are you feeling me eating the cupcake? And I'm back again. After a grueling 0.7 mile ride, we made it.
But we've had some major journeys on these bikes, like 20 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles, but we're having a good time though. That's
We're
all
doing
that counts.
We may have to go back to the ostrich farm. I want to show the people big birds with big eggs.
What's up, dude? What are you doing?
You know, we're walking out. We've had a great time, but we're going to take a cab over to the hitching post so we can maybe get hitched.
We're drinking. A little bit, just a little bit, right?
Taxi cab, baby.
Yes, sir. All right. Oh, it's gonna be tight back here.
Yeah, no problem.
$80 a month.
Are you guys getting steak?
Oh yeah, I am.
I always say that and then I don't get it, but I'm going to this time.
Yeah, it's a steak kind of a night.
So
Let's get out of the road. Let's get out. Let's spin around. Spin around a little more.
look at the hitching post right there.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. You're coming into one of the most famous steakhouses in this area. The first one was in Casmelia, and then the son and family put this one together, Frank Ostini. And if you ever watched the movie Sideways, this restaurant was featured quite a bit. So we're going to go enjoy a steak.
Go see the movie Sideways. It's really kind of funny, you know. But hey, we're not at a bachelor party, but we're going to go in there and have food. Yeah, the moon's looking awesome
Look at the
tonight.
moon and the sun is this way. Can't
What a
beat
day.
it.
What a day.
So my name's Frank Ostini, and I'm chef winemaker of the Hitching Post restaurant in Buellton, California. My family's been in the restaurant business for 70 years. We have an original Hitching Post, little town of Casmelia, about 40 miles northwest of here. Grew up in this business. We cook over this oak wood fire, and so we specialize in steaks and all proteins and things that we can put on the grill. Nowadays, there's a lot of vegetables. It's really this oak wood fire that we perfected the grilling to get a very hot bed of coals, a clean burn with a lot of air. It's all just a live fire. And the Santa Maria grill, we're famous for that because it goes up and down, so when the fire's hot, you can raise it up. We can control the temperature really well. We buy the best beef in America out of the Midwest. Great Omaha Beef is our biggest supplier, and we've been buying from them for over 30 years. We buy a lot of vegetables from local farmers. We, besides, of course, making food, I'm a winemaker and have made Pinot Noir wines for 40 years now. So the food and wine together is what it's all about for me, and I'm happy to be a chef, owner of a restaurant, and a winemaker of a brand that's pretty darn popular around here. The Sideways was 20 years ago, and there won't be a day that somebody won't be asking about Sideways, and we took it as a great opportunity, get a first impression with a lot of new people. Our business went up 40% in the restaurant. The wine business went up 400%, I think. So it had a big impact. We knew people would come for a one time, but the restaurant business is repeat business, and so we wanted to win them for forever, and we think we've done that. It's really a unique style of cooking. It's really special. It's a real simple recipe. Grilling over this wood fire, salt, pepper, and garlic, the basic ingredients. But when you put these simple ingredients together, magic happens. It's more than any of the ingredients by themselves to make something really special. It's same way in wine. You know, it comes from grapes, and these grapes are very specific and grown in special places, and they make unique flavors and a unique experience. And you can get both a food and wine experience here.
So I would just like to give a shout out to my mentor, Bob Trujillo. He's always spoke about his love for Santa Maria, and he's always spoke about this place and you, Mr. Ostini. So I'd like to thank you, Bob, and I'd like to thank you, Frank, because you didn't have to come out to this small production company and give your time, but you did. You actually changed into the hat and the chef coat. So yeah. I appreciate you so much, and we appreciate you for spending the time with us.
Well, today. You got in because you gave a couple of good names. Bob was a mentor when I played high school football, so Bob's a great guy.
Thanks, Bobby.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Sideways. Hitching post.
Yeah, buddy. Look at that thing. So Aaron brought us some appetizers. Aaron, what do we got here?
How are we doing? So we have a corn salsa quesadilla here. So that is topped with a little tequila cilantro sauce on top, house-made salsa on top, 100% house-made too. And then we have some barbecue salted mushrooms. So those are first barbecue over the red oak with their basting and seasoning, and then a wine reduction. It has a little Worcestershire sauce, and then basically boils for 10 minutes, like a wine reduction basically that happens at the same time. And then our most popular appetizer, artichoke. So basically house-made, also aioli, so spicy mayonnaise. Yep, enjoy.
So, as you can see, times are tough because Galen and I are just eating potatoes. And my dude Lance has a 32-ounce bone-in ribeye.
Which?
So,
I'm going to eat the whole thing. No, actually, I'm going to share it with these guys because there's plenty here.
So, my family's from southern Idaho, and they were potato farmers. At least half the family was. These are russet potatoes, and when you just squish the outsides, and if they're cooked well, they'll come up light and fluffy, and they did. Great job hitching post.
Lance, you want to slice that sucker in half and see how they did on the medium rare?
Yeah, I'm going to slice it up. My family was ranchers from Arkansas, and we used to have cattle farms, and I'm totally lying right now. But anyway, we got to split this thing up. I don't know how we're going to do it. Let's see.
Cut it in half. Let's see it.
Poke fun at what I was saying with my family?
No, I wasn't poking fun. I was trying to be included with a family of farmers.
You're already in my family.
All right, how do you want it? Like this?
Yeah, right down the middle. Let's see. Or right down a third. Whatever. I just want to see that cut. And that's actually a pretty proper medium rare, if you ask me. The camera might not pick it up, but bingo, bingo.
Too big?
Let's eat. But first, what did you ladies get?
We got a filet mignon that we are going to share, and our potato is equally as beautiful as yours, Galen, so we are excited with all the fixings.
We just came out of dinner. What a great steak dinner here at the Hitching Post. I'm stoked, but you know what? We're outside and it got wet again, so it rained while we were inside eating. Interesting weekend with the weather.
There you have it, folks. Another weather report from Lance R. Corey.
Boom.
Thank you. Thank you. Why is it that the brand new motorcycle is not covered and is covered in water?
Well, I kind of got into it a little bit earlier. The black motorcycle was the lead dog into the place here.
Okay.
How did he park in the middle? Isn't protocol that you park to the front? So I had to go around him and go to the front.
I didn't want to go around the trash can, and since I have, you know, whatever I had, I just said, hey, I'm stopping right here.
You said you didn't know what we were doing, and that was a lie. You knew exactly what you're doing.
I'm a liar.
Gee.
Well, she's at least shiny.
Well, you just saw the profanity-laced discussion between Lance and I. We're closing the evening. What a great day, right?
Great day, man. You know, we learned a lot of stuff. We were at a winery. We ended up at the Hitching Post. Great meal. I mean, what an awesome thing. You worked with a guy, Bob, and you knew a guy here at the Hitching Post, and you set up a little meeting, and that was great.
Well, he didn't set the meeting up. We did, but I think
you know, it's been very amazing about what we've done over the last 4 years, and even this last trip here. Like, we still have a day to go, but we're talking to people in these small towns, and we really are shaking hands with America. Tracy down in Santa Paula, Keith up here today, Frank Ostini that's running the Hitching Post and the family for 70 plus years. We love telling stories, my man.
Yeah, we love to tell stories. We meet people like to tell stories. I'm going to take my hat off to everyone and say, hey, thank you all for being such great, great people in this country. We love you.
Yeah, thanks for following us. If you enjoyed this, wait till tomorrow. We've got another story to tell.
Wow, the journey keeps going, so hey, we'll see you down the road.
Subscribe, comment, hit that bell, twolanelife.com for all your needs.
I like it.